think that works.
So,
Awesome. Yes. So welcome to another Typology interview. We have Asaf. How's it going?
great. Everything's
Great.
great. Great.
Awesome. So I don't know your type, but I know you've been typed, and we can start, I guess. How did you get into typology?
Do you want the short version or the long version?
Somewhere in between.
Uh, I'll give you the short, and if you want the longer, then tell me.
Sure.
No, I'll give you the long one. Okay.
Okay.
So, but it's short. It's not that long. So, like when I was 17, I went to this youth movement and lived in a communal life and got out of there at the age of 33. And when I
With a
got out of
kibbutz?
there, yeah, it's a
Okay.
it's a sort of kibbutz. It's like an educational kibbutz, and in a city. And when I got out of it, I thought to myself, like, who am I? What am I good at? I mean, I've lived in this institution for so long that I wanted to know, like, what are the things that I'm good at. So I went to the internet and I browsed and looked at and there was this guy called Ray Dalio. He's a big investor, and he said that when he hires employees, he checks their personality, and he said like MBTI and the Big Five. So I searched them, and after MBTI, I got to 16 personalities. It was great. I thought it was very accurate for me, and
What type did you get?
INFP.
Okay.
And then I wanted to dig deeper. So I went to C.S. Joseph, which also I found his video on the INFP very correlated to me, congruent with me, and that's it. But I still wanted to dig deeper, and so I saw an interview with Dave, and I went to OPS, and the rest is history.
Cool. Awesome. By the way, the clock behind you need to change the batteries.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's not even ticking, and the time's
What?
wrong.
What do you mean?
The clock behind you. Just there's a clock
That's
behind your
the
head.
clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
like
so is that neglecting the
it's
sensory there?
it's one of the sole furniture in this place.
Oh, okay.
It's a clue. It's a clue.
Is it? No, I'm trying to think. Is maybe that's neglecting the sensory, like the SE or the SI?
Oh, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
you think
Like,
so?
definitely. It's like
Um,
it's like saying, should I take it off? And then if I take it off, it will be just a clean wall. So it's better to have
well, it's right twice a day, right?
it's right twice a day. That's
There
right.
you go.
It's right. It's not that beautiful, but it's something.
Um, so let's talk about a little bit. So your first function, I'm gathering, is not sensory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking also not thinking. Yeah. So INFP would have made sense for you, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see what's going on there. I need to get you to talk more. So maybe tell me a little bit about how you got into Dave's channel and the OP videos and stuff. Is there something there that attracted you more than CS Joseph? Because like, okay, so if you put it this way, if you were INFP, CS Joseph might not be the first place you'd go because you'd be a consumer, and you qualified that as like digging deeper, going to CS Joseph, which for a consume person saying digging deeper is picking up Young or picking up some kind of book, right?
Picking up Young. What do you mean?
Like
Young.
yeah.
Okay.
So like for you digging deeper, like that for me going to YouTube and watching some videos is not digging deep, I guess. Just an observation, yeah.
Nice. Nice.
So I would say probably not INFP. But that's all I got so far.
Ask
So
away.
yeah. Were you ever into sports or anything?
Not really.
No.
Not that good. I really want to, but I'm not that
So
sport
what kind of
person.
things interested you as a kid?
Well, I read Harry Potter.
Okay.
I what did I do? Listen to music. I was kind of in philosophy, and I like to. I knew how to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was meditation. I used to do it a lot. Um,
What kind of meditation were you doing? What were you doing during meditation?
it's like you like lie down. It's best that you do it after you sleep. Wake up, then you lie down, and you let your mind just relax, and you go to this very deep place, and and in that place you can do a lot of very mysterious and beautiful things. Like I now it sounds crazy when I talk about it,
No, it
but
doesn't. Sounds perfectly sane. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you things that are gonna be sound really crazy. Like I could like change my brain function, like enhance certain senses or connect areas. I could read minds. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
is. Um, I mean, it's crazy for me when I talk about it, but it was at least an experience. I can say that that was my experience then, back then. Um, so you got all kinds of things when you do all this meditation thing. I didn't know it was meditation, but
Mm-hmm.
you just let your mind go into deep places. I lost it.
Um,
I can't read your
yeah,
mind.
no. Oh, you can't read my mind?
I can't read your mind. No,
Can
sorry.
can has it happened that you've been able to read people's minds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My
And
dad.
were you right? Yeah, your dad's?
Yeah, we had this experiment. Like he would paint, draw things, and I would guess what he drew, and I was usually
Mhm.
usually right. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Did you prep him in a way before that? Like do some
No,
mental
no,
stuff on him? No.
no. I was really astounded by it. I was
Hmm.
surprised by it. I didn't. I didn't.
Were
It's
you
not
just
like
grasping out of thin air, or did you actually think that's what he drew when you guessed?
it's like this intuition thing. It's like you just relax. You close your eyes and you just go to this deep place and very quiet. It's really did fascinate me every time when I was a kid. Like the place of nothingness. The place of nothingness. Let's say you see a balloon with helium, right? And it goes up in the sky. It goes up in the sky, and you look at it and look at it, and goes smaller and smaller and smaller. And there is this instance. It's gonna be disappear soon. You're not gonna see it very soon, but there is this instance where it's not visible and it's not visible. That instance where you don't see anything. You don't see a balloon. It's not that you don't see a balloon. What is there? I was always fascinated by that. Or what do you see when you look at the horizon? I mean, if you look at the sea, there are places where you don't see the sea. There's a place where you don't see the sky. What do you see there? I mean, what is that place that you do not see? There is the never-ending story. You know that
Yeah.
movie book. I love it. So
Uh-huh.
they have the nothing. Have you read the book?
No, I haven't, but I saw this movie when I was a kid, when I
Yeah.
was really young. Yeah.
So the movie it's very paradoxical because it shows the nothing as space. You see at the
Ah.
end, he's looking for the ivory tower, and he's going through space, and then he finds at the ivory tower, look, Falcor, the ivory tower. And the in the book, it actually says that the nothing. you just can't see it. It's not black, it's not space, it's something that you just can't see. It hurts your eyes when you look at it, because nothing is really, it's not any color. So this is like always fascinated me, like what is that place we don't see, like, when there is when you drive a car, or just walk and the sun is setting and you see everything becomes dark, and it's not dark, it's not light, you don't see, you don't not see, you don't see and you don't not see. So that place always fascinated me. I don't know, it's like, so I'm just saying that, as I understand it, I mean, it's just, I don't know if it's effective in any way, if it helps anybody in their life. But for me, that place of emptiness, of nothing, is the place where strange things happen. That you can do things that are very not normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the place of mind reading, and changing the paths in your brain, and like, for instance, like, I used to play I love chess. I really love chess. So I played this guy, and he was really, really good. So before I played with him, I just sat, I like meditated. Again, I didn't know what meditation is, but I just sat there and just, made my mind like more connected. And then I played with him, and like, it was very easy to play with him. It was very easy to win. So I don't know, but it's a technique, I think.
Yeah. So you were jumping around from metaphor to metaphor a little bit. Um, that could be using any, but just the fact using any doesn't make you an any user, because I'm not getting a very any thing from you. But you were using any there for some reason. I don't know why.
Uh,
So like, are you always thinking about the future? Are you planning for things? Is that something that you're stuck in usually?
what do you mean?
Like, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna be in 5 years?
I'm a teacher now, and
You're a teacher
hopefully I'll
now,
be. Hopefully I'll be a good teacher. I really hope I'll
right?
be a good professional teacher. And that's, I hope.
What
Yeah,
grade do you
I don't
teach?
know. I don't know. Huh?
What grade do you teach?
12th graders. I teach
Okay.
English. Yeah.
Oh. So you don't think about the future too much? It's not something that's on your mind?
In some ways I don't, in some ways I do. Like, I can't tell you like what, it's hard for me to even, make a plan for a week,
Mm-hmm.
to plan ahead. But like I invest in the stock market, and like it's, if you want to know about typology, the type of a person, ask him how he invests his money. So I just learned that it's really strange the way I invest my money. So I have this overarching like hypothesis about, I try to, I'm not like a day investor. Like so I invest like for 5 years at least, for things that I think that will happen in the global economy for the next 5 years. So I thought it was like normal, but then when I talk to people, it seems like very strange.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
maybe
that's one
that,
place where you see that you're using some kind of
yeah, looking at the
predictive
future.
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like to plan for things? Do you know what are you married?
No.
No. Do you have plans to start a family? Is that something that you know about that maybe you're too embarrassed to talk about? Like it's too personal?
Um, it is personal, but
Yeah.
I guess when it comes, it comes. I guess, you have to be ready for
Huh.
it. You have to be. Yeah, I mean, it's great responsibility. It's a big responsibility. You need to have a lot of money. You need to have like order in your life to know how you like, how you're going. It's taking care of somebody else, taking care of a child. It's a big responsibility. So you need to be ready for that. I'm
Uh-huh.
not.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it yet.
What about what about trying things out, failing? Are you comfortable with failure?
Like
Is that
what?
something are you, or do you fear failure?
I hate failure. I
You
really
hate
hate failure.
failure? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I hate tests. I hate when people test me. I hate. I fear failure. I fear failure all the
Hmm.
time. I really hope I won't fail.
Right.
But
So it's something I've been noticing is that people who are more on the SE side of things don't mind failure and embrace it, and then people who are more on the NI
they
sort of
embrace failure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I wish I was like that. It's very
Um,
cool.
so so like, do you see yourself as an NI Dom? Is that something you identify with, even though you're not
Yeah,
planning all the
definitely.
time?
I
Yeah.
had this. Do you want me to tell you about my life? It will probably be easier for you, and
Sure.
you'll see like. So like when I was a kid, like everybody like told me I was this kind of philosopher, and I was like I was in this drawing class, and I drew, and like 2 years ago, I went back to my parents' house, and I met my drawing teacher, and I asked her, how was I as a child, and she said, I mean, how was I in drawing? And she said, you didn't draw anything. Like you almost never drew. And I asked her, what do you mean? And she said, what did I do then? She said, we just talked. We just talked. I said, what did you talk about? I mean, she said, I was very bored. I thought like all of you were very small, and I was bored. Everybody, kids don't paint something interesting things, and the conversation with you was very, very interesting. We talked about all kinds of things. So I was really this kind of a guy that can talk about deep things, about the meaning of life, and all kinds of
Hmm.
things.
Well, any Doms will do that too, but yeah. Okay.
So that's it. And in high school, I was kind of in more in the um, um, I studied computer science and physics.
Yeah.
And but then I went to this social movement, which was very surprising to me. I wasn't this people's person, and I went to education, and I did that a lot of times, a long time. I mean, I was a guide. I did a lot of things. I was like an advocate and for youth in in the court of labor. Um, and I was in a print. I worked with machines, with printers.
Hmm.
I did a lot of things.
Are you
And
aware of like your likes and dislikes and your personal values? Are you aware
a
of
very
those?
yeah, it's kind of a touchy point, because like I had these very, very solid values. That's why I went to this social movement. I actually led a social group for social change in Israel
Hmm.
against a certain law. And
Okay.
I taught about this law, and we made all kinds of conferences, and we made demonstrations. Um, yeah, and and in the end, I had to leave this movement, even though I thought that the values were very. I believed in them. I believed in them so much that I couldn't see that it was not beneficial to me, that it was hurting
Hmm.
me. So
How was it hurting
so
you?
I couldn't see at the time. I just felt physically weaker and weaker. Um, Today, I can say that the communal way of thinking, it's problematic. I mean, you earn a very small amount of money. It's about 650 shekels. That's in dollars. That's about $200, even less, $175 a month for that's your like private money, and you only get paid for rent, and not a lot, and traveling expenses. So buying clothes and food, and if you want to drink something, have a coffee. So it all comes out of these $175, and you can't raise your income because you get this budget. No matter how much you work, if it's in the movement, you get the same budget. So you don't have control over your life. You just float. You can't set goals and you can't reach them. Like, I want shoes, you can't get shoes. I want to live on
Hmm.
my own, you can't live on your own.
So was it bothering you more the idea that you weren't free there, or was it bothering you more that you didn't have control, or it's the same thing?
I guess it's kind of the same thing because
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, what I mean, being with somebody told me that being with people, sharing with people, has to have a purpose. Like if it's beneficial to you. If it's not beneficial, if you're
Right.
not evolving in it, so what's the use? I mean, so you hang around, around with people, and you have all these conferences and talks, and I love this philosophy. I really love philosophy. I really, really love philosophy. So we talked about Marx and Maslow and Freud and all kinds of things, and talking how social injustice will ruin the world, and we need to be pure and
Hmm.
just, and uh, but um but for me to take care of me, that was like I couldn't do it. I had
Hmm.
no tools to do it. I mean, you don't.
So yeah, when you're talking about that, I was noticing you were going into like a little bit of a demon state, and then when you started talking about philosophy, your face lit up. You got happy. You really, really love philosophy. Like you could see your states switching between those two events. Yeah.
Yeah,
So and it's a lot of feelings coming out, like a lot of it. Like as a thinker, I get this uncomfortable feeling when people start doing feeling stuff, and that's what you're doing a lot. So
yeah.
yeah. So I'm just trying to see if that's FI or FE, but it seems more FI to me. So that would put you NI FI. So and sleep, and that was where the meditation, I guess, would be really common. So is that what
You're asking,
like is that what you
you
got?
want
Yeah,
to
I'm
know?
asking. Is that what you were given?
Yeah,
NIFI? Yeah.
that's right. NIFI.
And then I would say sleep blast because of that weird consume anecdote, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that at all.
What? Sleep what?
Sleep blast maybe?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Very good.
Um so did you identify with that having FI? Is that something that's
FI, definitely.
yeah.
I told them, like, I was an INFP. I told them I was the FINE.
Yeah.
Uh, I put sleep very high,
Right.
above blast, and above play, and put consume above blast. But yeah, so they told me that blast was above consume,
Mhm.
which now I understand that. I mean, I'm a
Okay.
teacher, and like
Right.
everything I read, I want to tell people. So
Right.
yeah, and definitely have this sleep thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the problem is that it's like what they always say, that the thing that is in the middle, that's what you see, and the thing that is on the top, you don't see that. So I thought that FI was like the story of my life, like
Right. Do you
how am
have
I
tribe
with
tidal
people?
waves? Do
Yeah, all the time,
yeah.
all the time. Yeah,
Do you feel
like
like people are against you, like you're the underdog all the time?
I feel like it's like in like a when you go to how do you say Luna Park? You
Yeah. Um, Amusement park, yes.
amusement park. So you go when you go to an amusement park and you have all these electric cars, right? So when you always think about yourself, so you bounce with people, like you don't know what's going on. So
Hmm.
I always feel like I'm bouncing with people, and it's all every social encounter is a bit unexpected. I don't know what's going to happen.
So that is that like a low play then? That's like a play fourth. Is that what you have, or play third?
That's what they told me. Play fourth,
Play
and
fourth.
that's a yeah. That's what I told myself. I know I have very low play. Like
Hmm.
that. That's like I don't know how to have fun. I really don't. And yeah, I don't know. And I don't move that much. I don't move. It's really bad.
Do you see yourself before you move? You need to know exactly what you're gonna do. Do you see yourself planning for that one movement you're about to do, sort of thing, all the time?
I have this. I call it to be stuck. Like if I do one thing, I'll do it great. But moving from one thing to another, I get stuck in the middle. Like if I wake up, it'll be hard for me to get up. If I'm up, it'll be hard for me to sleep. Like
Me too, man.
everything,
Yeah,
yeah. To do my chores, like to do the laundry, to clean,
yeah.
all that. Everything I need. It will take me. I will go to this stuck mode and just watch YouTube movies and videos. I
So you'll
don't know.
procrastinate with consume.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
Hmm. Is that your
I
go-to
really
when you? No.
I really don't know. Like, yeah, that's where I go. Like, but
Yeah,
they told me that even when I go there, it's not like that. Like I can't look at things that are not meaningful to me, that I don't like find valuable. It's very hard for me.
yeah.
I
That's
just
the
don't.
FI. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I
So
don't
like
know.
we were talking
I'm
about
trying.
people,
I'm
you
trying to.
noticed.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah. We were
understand.
talking about people, and you pulled the conversation over to laundry and getting up and things like that. So
Yeah.
that could be a little of an indication that you are more of an observer.
Or that's a painful subject.
Yeah,
I have in
and that's what
mind that
observers are. It's the pain. Like
uh,
people talk is because people is a painful subject. We're trying to figure out people. That's why we all like deciders. We always talk about people because we're trying to figure them out. Because they don't make sense. Observers, it's the things that don't make the sense. It's the missing information that doesn't make sense. So all the conversation will go to the missing information to, oh, this one thing that happened and stuff like that. Like the news. Yeah. Getting stressed out about the news, getting stressed about yeah.
yeah. So I don't identify with Dave about fixing things, about conspiracy theories. I
Right.
never had conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm his type, allegedly. Like
Right.
a bit
Very
off, a
close.
bit different, very
Very
close.
close though. Yeah.
But I think if we go now to like to OP, I hate I don't want to. I mean, I'll just say what I think. What I'm observing is
Right.
that is that first of all, I'll tell you that once they told me that uh, I was balanced in FI and TE. It was very easier for me to be a teacher. I mean, to go to the classroom and I teach like in a very very difficult school with very problematic kids with
Okay.
no families, and got out of all the schools. So it's like very very borderline kids, and a lot of and there is violence and there is tension,
Mm-hmm.
and so it gave me a lot of confidence. And the way that they said that I have high blast really gave me confidence to lecture and all that. So that was good news. In that way of conspiracies and not be able to handle life, like I can't relate.
No.
I
Like right now we were
maybe
having problem connecting. Were you getting stressed out that you were having problem connecting with the computer, the
no,
camera?
I was apathetic about it.
Yeah.
I was apathetic about it. I mean, I said, it wasn't like pleasant, sure, but like it's not like like no.
Right.
Uh, it's just that I think it's like you have this cycle of energy and the cycle of information.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yep.
Dave is so he's good on the energy and lousy on the information. So
Mm-hmm.
perhaps that's my theory, that he has a lack of information. He always thinks that like
That's possible.
uh,
Yeah.
and I have as lead sleep and then blast and then consume and then play.
Right.
I
Balance
have
on the
the
information.
lack of of energy. So for me, everything is about energy. It's about energy. Like I'm so tired. I'm so tired all the time. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I don't have the strength to do this. I don't have the strength to do that. So that's like my concern. Like how can I? My problem is how the hell do I do things? How do I gain energy? That's like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was little, what I did was just to sleep. Like I have doubling in sleep, right? Because it's like double activated NI and double activated FI. So oh, there's a question.
Yeah.
Do you
He's
get
also
upset?
NIFI, by the way.
Do you get upset when someone accuses you of being something you aren't?
I get upset about that.
I don't understand the question.
If they
What do you, what do
say
you,
you didn't take out the trash when you did or something like that.
yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
mean, who
Yeah.
wouldn't? Like,
Tell me about like some of the most painful experiences you've had, and I like just generally. You don't have to go into details because I know it's not a comfortable thing to talk about.
um, the most painful experience I had.
Yeah.
I remember when I left the movement, I was a wreck. Really, I I went into my um, bedroom and I stayed there for about 2 3 months to
Hmm.
my parents' house, and I just couldn't get up. I didn't have any power
So where was the
left.
pain coming from? Was it a fear?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So and I just didn't know. Um, I didn't know like why, like I didn't know what's going on. Like why is it that things that I believe in don't hurt me? And then I said, okay, I'm going to go back to the movement once everything is over. And how do you call it in English? The guy that is responsible for the money, for the finance, like
A
in
treasurer.
yeah, treasurer. So the treasurer. So we made an appointment, and um, and she and she told me then when I was that like the whole philosophy of the movement is like everybody is for everyone and everyone is for everybody. Like, and in that moment, she told me that since I'm not living in a commune and separated, the movement is not going to pay for my bills, and that I should pay it for myself. And
Hmm.
that was painful. That was painful because then I felt like
A betrayal.
yeah, everything was broken. Like maybe it's more like the philosophy was broken. You know, everything I believed was broken. I guess I am an I lead. Like
Hmm.
it was like yeah, it's like everything I believed in just broke. Like I you know I thought something one thing and another thing happened.
So
So
when that happened, you had to restructure your beliefs, restructure the patterns. Yeah. You had to
yeah,
go over your whole life philosophy again.
I had to put a question mark where there wasn't there. Everybody told me leave, 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 but
Right.
I just wouldn't leave. Like I believed in this thing, and nobody could sway me out of it.
Hmm.
And in that moment, like I felt like it was very, physical. It was very physical. I just
Hmm.
felt a drain of energy, and
Would
yeah.
would you ever go back to some kind of social experiment like that again and put your belief in that, or is that something that you've been burned on? Like, do you still have that idealized?
I'm so afraid of believing in anything and putting an exclamation point or a dot, even a dot. I'm so afraid of it. I'm really terrified by it um, because what if you're wrong? I mean, yeah, it can hurt you. And
Mhm.
I sacrificed like everything I had. Like I could have done other things and many beautiful things, and I didn't. And I lived very, in a very scarce way,
Yeah,
poverty,
you're
and
not dead yet, man.
what?
You're not dead yet.
I'm not. I'm not dead yet. No, no,
Yeah.
I'm not dead. No, I'm alive. Um, yeah. Yes, but I have this very, like in the stock market, like I would like I can tell you what's going to happen like in the global market, and I look at myself and said, this is ridiculous. How can you know what's going to happen in 5, 10 years from now? I mean, sure, I mean
Hmm.
you can assume, sure there are
Hmm.
clues, but to say that and put a dot with that, I mean, so I have this tendency like to guess what's going to happen and be very, very sure about it, and have a lot of very structured philosophies, and I can argue about them.
Right.
But how does
So
that help me in life? It doesn't. It
I
doesn't.
I don't know. It might. It's your
Don't be a
saviors. No.
philosopher. Don't be a philosopher.
So
It doesn't help you.
people were saying
Your type
masculine
is
and
much
I the whole
better.
way. What's that?
Your type is much better. I'm telling
Is
you.
it? I,
You live in the present. You live, and it's great. It's great.
yeah. I'm telling you,
It's always
everyone has struggles. You don't want to be jealous of anyone. You want to. I personally am not jealous of anyone. I see some of the struggles that are going on, and yeah, yeah. But no one would want to go through what I've gone through either. Like it's just it doesn't matter what type you have. You
mm,
you have something,
yeah,
especially if you're not matching with the world's type or your social type. Like, because I think societies have a type as well, and so if you match with the society's type, then at least you have a little bit of an advantage. Um, but yeah. So people were saying masculine and I before. Is that true? Everyone in the comments was all saying masculine and I, or do you have
yeah,
feminine and I?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
So do you
The
feel
best,
like
right?
yeah.
It's like Gandhi or something. It's like a
No,
guru
because you
or
were talking
something.
about your certainty with your predictions or with your guesses. You call them guesses, but you were certain. So like that sounds very masculine and I.
Yeah, like I typed somebody, and I literally fought with him. Like I said, this is what your type, and I tried, to convince him that what I and even when I sent my video to Shannon Dave, all I cared about was that what I saw about myself was true. That's all I cared
Right.
about, nothing else. Like if I'm, honest about it.
Did you have like a little
So
mini one of those ideological shatterings then when you got your type back?
what do you mean? Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Like, when you think you're a decider and they tell you you're an observer, it's like, what the hell? I mean, I said like, yeah, I want to be an observer. Yes, I mean, I'd love to be an observer. I wish I would be NIFI. I mean, great.
Uh-huh.
That's super. Like, I still do. I still think that like, I don't know.
You still think that you might be maybe FINI rather than
I'm not. I
NIFI?
don't think. No, I don't know. But I think that it's much more fun to be FINI than NIFI than
Hmm.
FINI, because I think that the pain of FI is so great. It's so big that it's great that you can like look at people talking, you know, and they have this distance. It's fantastic. I
Hmm.
mean, I was always like this outsider in my school, in all of my life, and it's a tough thing to be. It's a tough thing, you know. It's a tough thing to be an outsider. So when they told me this, I said, okay, okay, take it proportionately. It's it's not your worst struggle. It's not you have bigger struggles than that. It gives you a proportion about this thing.
Oh
So
wow.
I was pretty happy actually. And because I was happy, I said, because I'm happy about it, that means it's wrong. I mean, if I was like I mean, you usually type yourself the way you want to see yourself. And then they tell you something and you say, no, no, this can't be. And it happened the other way around for me. So I said, okay, so maybe it's not true. I mean, if they're
Right.
giving
Yeah.
me news, then probably not
It's a fair
true.
guess. Yeah. The logic sort of works like that. Yeah. Um, so okay, so what do you see about your TE then? Is that something that you're aware of, the TE?
Yeah, that was kind of it's kind of strange. Like I'm a teacher and I'm kind of I thought I was like a lead FI, and then it means that TE is my weakest, and I thought that my FI was masculine. So and but I could put rules in the class better than other
Right.
teachers. I'm very strict. I'm very, very
Savior
strict
blast. Yeah.
with my. So, so it's cool. Like, I guess I have this TE thing. Like, so I can give them rules.
Well, the rules could come from your masculine NI too, and you have savior blast. So it doesn't necessarily mean TE. But
It's possible. Possible.
yeah. Is your so your TE is masculine, you said?
What?
Your TE is masculine then? Because you were putting out a lot of I hate stuff with your FI. I was noticing before. So it seemed like it was more masculine. Like I'm not getting a very feminine feeling thing from you.
The FI,
Yeah,
the
the FI
TE.
seems like it's masculine. The TE seems like it's more feminine. But you're saying that the TE is masculine.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
No?
I can
You
put
got
rules.
but what did
I
you
can
get
put
back
rules.
from the type?
What?
You got back
Yeah,
masculine TE?
yeah. Masculine
Yeah.
FI.
Oh,
Masculine FI.
masculine FI. Okay. Okay. All right. So that
Masculine.
was right then. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So then the feminine TE you have. So does that make sense to you?
Yeah, everybody calls me, say I'm cute, and I'm very not pushy. I'm very, very not pushy.
Hmm.
That's like that. There's a problem, you know, with people that are, you know, men that are FF. I think I don't know. For me, it's a problem. Like
Hmm.
everybody tells you that you're cute. Everybody like pities you, thinks you're like weak, and I
Hmm.
fucking hate it. So like if you want to look at yourself as a man, it's hard when other people look at you like
Right. But you've got those
sissy.
masculine saviors though. Both of
Yeah,
your
but you don't
saviors are
see them.
masculine.
You don't see them like
Yeah,
they're
you see
like in
them. Yeah.
me. Yeah, you can see them.
Yeah, you see them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, but also then that would give you like a cat energy. Like if you get backed into a corner, you really have that pushback. Like you won't warn. What about boundaries? Like will you warn people about your boundaries before they cross them, or you wait until they go way too far into your boundaries to push back?
I don't know when I push back. I guess I put the
Okay.
boundaries. I tell people, for my kids, for my students, I gave them a page with the rules of the class,
Right.
and but the boundaries are always crossed, and I always have to think: Am I going to respond to this? Am I not?
Hmm.
But the good thing about my type, I mean, I went to the right place because you know, with really troubled kids, with kids with violence issues, it's their way of communication. So if everything you know ticks you, if you respond to everything,
Right.
then you get into fights. I mean,
That's right. With the
so
kids.
you
Yeah.
need to. Yeah, so you need to be a bit receptive,
Hmm.
take it in, what am I going to do about it, and respond later. So
What about being agreeable? Just agreeing with what people argue and stuff. Do you find that like you don't want to fight over logic with people? You just sort of go along with what people.
what do you mean? Like, I don't know what logic is. What
Mhm.
is logic?
Um,
I'm not a logic person,
no, you're
that I
not.
can
But like, it's just I'm thinking of the feminine te. If you'll like uh, be agreeable with people, if they say no, this is how you do things. Things are like this. If they throw arguments at you, they argue with you. Will you argue back, or will you just accept their arguments, or be passive aggressive, or
I guess I'll be passive aggressive.
yeah?
I guess I'll be passive aggressive. I have this friend. I have this friend that is a major stock market investor,
Mm-hmm.
and he has his views, and I have my views about the stock market. And sometimes it collides, and in that moment, he really, really argues with me and says I'm stupid and all that. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whatever, do whatever you want. Like, but I have to leave. Like, I can't stay there because like I have my truth, I have my truth. So I'm not gonna bend with
Right.
my truth. But I'll have to leave. But I'm not gonna argue with him about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to argue with him, but when it comes to a real conflict, I'll just go away and that's it.
So yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned truth. Truth, I find, is a word that means something different based on whatever functions you're using. So I just want to
Hmm.
know what truth is to you.
It's what I think that will happen, and
Will happen.
what yeah, so what I think will happen. I think that the and what I see, it's like what I see. I see certain things, and I give this guy this certain data and he just ignores it and says like, yeah, but this and that. No, this is nonsense. In this era of fake news, everybody you can say something and say, no, this is fake news, and that's it. You can just give somebody. You can work about something, show something from the IMF, from International Monetary Fund, all kinds of things. Research, and they can just say, "Oh, this is fake news," and that's it. And this is false. And okay, so no, you can't argue then. You can't discuss anything. So
Hmm.
that's how it goes. Everybody has this view, and nobody wants to argue about it. Everybody
So,
just wants to be right, I guess.
s- it's interesting how you talk about yourself when you're saying everybody. That happens a lot. So truth for you is a view. It's a
Is
viewpoint.
what?
It's a viewpoint. It's the way you see
What?
things. Mabat.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, like the way I see things is like that's how I'm going to act. It's the way I'm going to invest my money. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to invest my money appropriate to how I see the
Is there
future,
truth
how I see
outside of
things.
money?
Truth outside of money.
Yeah, because you related truth to money somehow. So I'm just wondering if
Money
that's where the
is
truth
very.
is.
That's no. Uh, of course, it's values. It's values. Truth is values.
Truth is values.
Yeah, truth is values. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
truth is values.
Interesting.
Uh,
Do you have anything you want to promote, or a channel, or any last words you want to say about your type? Maybe about struggles, about overcoming them.
if somebody's listening and is like the same type as me, maybe in the future,
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
I just um I just want to say that movement has proven to be very, very useful. Dancing, jogging, very, very useful. Um, yeah, movement, and trying to always try to move from one stage to another stage. Always trying to. I think I'll give you my 5 cents, and I think that For me, like, because like the wheel of energy, like how the way I see it, like there is this wheel of energy that you need like to sleep, and then you need like the real sleep, not like the way I sleep,
Yeah.
like to watch YouTube videos. That's unhelpful in any way. But really to sleep in your bed, and then you need to like move your body. And if you don't do those things repeatedly, you lose energy. I mean, you do it if you work all day and don't rest, and if you only rest and don't work. So what I find useful, it's all very new to me, but what I find helpful is like to do these cycles very, very often. Like every time I get up, I try to do something physical. And every time I do something physical, I try to meditate or sleep. Transcendental meditation, perfect for my type, very good because it's like concentrated sleep in very, very short time. That's it.
Cool.
That's it.
Awesome. Thanks for your
And
advice. And
I hope we'll talk, besides that, because
yeah, of course, man. Yeah, for sure.
we're
100%. Yeah.
close. Like we're close. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you
Anyways,
for.
yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
we're done. Yep.